Hey everyone, I'm Candace Scalise. This is 21 Next, where we take a closer look at some big stories that we're following. And today, Maxine Rose is following up on a sad story about a motorcyclist who was intentionally hit and killed, according to police, in a road incident. We're learning a road rage. I said that backwards. A road rage incident. So we're learning a lot more, Maxine, from police and from this victim's family. So, what can you tell us today as you've been learning more about the crash site and the scene in Lemoyne?
I'm standing off of South 3rd and Clark Street. That's the intersection where this all happened. I want to give you a look at kind of what neighbors had pointed out to me today. You can see there's like a little bit on the road here, just the white powder that they say was used by firefighters out here because the car that had hit the motorcyclist had burst into flames shortly after. I want to show you this as well here. This is a telephone pole that was hit, and neighbors, there we go. And neighbors tell me that this brace was put up to kind of keep the telephone pole together because of all of that damage there. We also saw public works people here today cleaning up the road. So it just gives you an idea of how bad this damage really was here. And of course, the loss of life has shaken up this entire neighborhood here. I spoke with a few people who say, they have surveillance footage or, the person had been outside of their home, things of that nature. Unfortunately, we're not able to access that surveillance footage at this time as the district attorney's office is still processing all of this. But we know that the person who was arrested out here right where I'm standing and was driving that car, they are expected to be in court on Thursday.
All of this happened 7:30 a.m. or so Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it was early in the morning, and apparently this person behind the wheel of this vehicle that burst into flames told police that he had been drinking before getting behind the wheel, and then it turned into a road rage.
Right.
Now, affidavit says that he intentionally hit this motorcyclist. What do we know about the victim here?
Yeah, well, we know his name is Bob Roustay Sr. We know that he was 56 years old, I believe, or
65.
65, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, excuse me, 65 years old. And that he had been kind of coming down this street here. We tried to speak with some of the people down here about what they saw, but you talk about that road rage, it had happened farther down here coming down this way. And had really all of this had caused a complete backup. People were shocked to hear that something like that could happen in this neighborhood. But to talk more about, Rousset Sr., we know from this GoFundMe that has also been started for the wife to help support her in all of this. It says that he was a loving father, a loving partner. He had a passion for motorcycles. Um, he just really seems like a wonderful person. People enjoyed being around. And, what people are saying here that no matter what happened in this road rage incident, nobody deserves something like this to happen to them. So you can see there, that's a picture of him and his wife.
Yeah.
Awful.
It looks like they've almost raised $4,000, and I know their goal is 40. Well, it looks like it's now 6,500 to help with all of those costs, the unexpected death of him. So when you talk to people today who were out and about, is this near the New Cumberland Brew House? Is that what it's called? That coffee shop?
Yes. So there
Okay,
is
or Brew Cumberland Nest, I think it's called.
yes, Brew Cumberland, I think is what it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah,
Yes. So they're right down there. It's hard to really show you here. I'll walk
yeah.
down a little bit. I don't know if you can really see it, but so this coffee shop here is right next door. I spoke with a person who works there who says they, came down this street and they all offered, waters to the firefighters and was just trying to be supportive. One of the baristas there said, they saw the person get arrested.
Mm.
Um, so, you can see how close that is. So there's, the coffee shop right there. Sorry, I'm trying not to shake here. It's right over there. And then you can see how close it is to where it happened, just a few feet away. I want to point something out too there. It says speed limit 25 miles per hour. That's something that neighbors talk to me a lot about. They see some people speeding down this road here, but from the level of impact there at that pole, and we know that the driver, according to police, had also hit another unoccupied car. Just all of that extensive damage. People were saying, well, I just don't think that he could have been going 25 miles per hour. So,
Right.
obviously, police are still looking into this. The investigation is ongoing. Um, they have the surveillance footage of moments leading up to the crash, but it's definitely a problem for people in this neighborhood. While it's a shocking thing to have happened, this road is extremely busy, especially at 7:30 in the morning. It's right by I-83, and this road was especially, unfortunately, dangerous, according to some of the neighbors who are around here.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, the photo and the video that we're seeing of the car that just burst into flames, the aftermath of that, and everything that transpired afterwards. I know that GoFundMe is set up, so we're learning a little bit more about the dad, the victim here. So,
Yeah.
where does the investigation go from here? What are we waiting on? What happens next?
Yeah, so we are waiting on the mugshot of the driver. So we have
Okay.
no idea what he looks like at this point. The DA says that it will release it come the preliminary hearing on Thursday.
Okay.
It also plans to release additional information in a press release then. We got information on the scene the day of that morning from the chief of police with the West Shore Regional Police Department. Goodness,
Mhm.
sorry. And that's all we, were able to know from that point. Just, the basics of what time it happened, what time they arrived, all the stuff that we obviously have on our website, cbs21.com. But there are, of course, some more details that we are waiting to find out about really how far back this happened, what had happened really in the interaction, um, and really how it all kind of
Transpired.
transpired. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
certainly.
we also know about the driver's history, right? So we understand that there is one previous DUI.
Okay.
Uh, that is all that has been told to me. I did speak with a detective today who was on the scene, the West Shore Police Department. He was not able to go into much more detail, but of course, what he could tell me was just that there was a
Okay.
previous DUI, and the driver is now in custody and at Cumberland County Prison.
Okay. All right. And we know, of course, for this victim's family, they're going to be most likely planning a funeral service for him, saying goodbye to
Mhm.
him after all of this transpired. So thanks for that update today. I know more information keeps coming out. We got our hands on the affidavit earlier this week, which gave a lot more detail about what police say happened. And of course, there's that surveillance video. The motorcyclist could have been using a GoPro. We're waiting for police to find that if he was. So still more movement to figure out exactly what happened. But just sad for the family who lost a life in this incident. So thank you for getting more information for us today, Maxine, and just kind of showing us around after crews have cleaned up today from that, accident a few days ago. And as they continue to investigate. So we'll stay on top of this, especially as we get more information about that prelim hearing, looking out for the mugshot that Maxine mentioned, and just keeping you updated as we learn more about this specific case. So we do have a lot of information on cbs21.com if you want to go there and just read over everything for yourself and take a look at what we've found out so far. So we'll have more on that then. And then also at CBS 21 News tonight at 5 and 6. We'll talk to Maxine a little more. There's our article if you want to check it out. And you can see there the flames of that car after the impact was made into the telephone pole, authorities say. So we'll keep you updated on this. And like I said, CBS21.com, your place to go if you want to find out more. Thanks for joining us for CBS 21 News for a closer look. And CBS 21 News next.